Hang on, let me just put on my accessory. Okay, I'm ready now. Welcome back to Create with Chidex. I'm Chidema, and it's lovely to have you here once again. It's finally the Christmas season. Yay! The most wonderful time of the year. Every year we usually visit Santa's grotto, but this year we can't because we need to keep to current restrictions. And yes, the restrictions apply to Santa as well. Yeah. Anyway, since we can't visit Santa's grotto, I'm going to be bringing Santa's grotto to us. And of course it's going to be in cake. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make Santa's grotto out of cake, complete with the Christmas lights. Yes. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy the video, please don't forget to like it, share it, and also subscribe to my channel. Join me and let's get on with making this cake. To make this Santa grotto cake, I started by carving my cakes. The size I was going for before the carving process was about 14.7 by 12.5 by 19.5 cm. So I cut out a template measuring about 14.7 by 12.5 cm, and using this template I started carving rectangular shapes from my cake. I'm going to save the curved cake cutouts from this particular cake, as I'll be using it to build up the height of my cake later. In addition to the curved cake cutouts, I had to cut another small rectangular piece of cake to get a cake height of slightly above the required 19.5 cm. Now that I've cut the cakes and stacked them up to make sure that I have the right height, I'm going to stack my cakes by applying some buttercream in between the layers. I applied some buttercream first on the cardboard template that I used to cut the cakes. Then I'm placing my first layer on, and then more buttercream on this layer. I'm just going to continue stacking the cakes using buttercream until I've stacked everything up. For the layer at the top, I had to cut the cake cutouts down to the same length and width of the cakes below before sticking them together with buttercream. Using the measurements given here, I cut out two cardboard templates. I'm placing one at the front and one at the back of the stacked cakes. I secured them by wrapping some cling film around them. I further secured the templates to the cake using foil paper. And then using the templates as a guide, I carved out the shape of the roof. Now that the cake is carved, I'm just going to crumb coat the outer surface of the cake with some buttercream. I'm just going to pop this cake in the freezer to chill for 20 minutes. Now that my cake is nicely chilled, I'm using a template to cut out openings for the windows. The template that I'm currently using is one of the templates I used earlier to carve the roof of the cake, only I just cut out openings for the windows and the door. After cutting out openings for the window, I covered them with buttercream. Now it's time to cover my cake with fondant. So I'm rolling out some brown fondant, and then using a ruler, I cut out panels for the sides of the cake. Then I attached these panels to the sides of the cake and cut them down to size. Before covering the front and the back of the cake with fondant, I used bubble tea straws to make holes through which I will put in the lights. Then I cut out small squares of edible wafer paper and used them to cover the window openings at the front of the cake. I'm now going to cover the front and the back of my cake with fondant. So I've rolled out some fondant and using my template as a guide, I've cut out panels slightly larger than the templates. Now I'm applying the front panel. Then I'll trim it down to size, just like I did with the side panels. When I was done trimming the front panels, I cut out openings for the windows and the door. I'm also gonna roll and cut out panels and attach them to the back as well.
Christmas decorated in town. Among all the tinsel and lights, I'm strolling around, just wondering where you have gone to. Are you just around the corner or in Kathmandu? And whether or not you're with somebody new, still I wish.
My house construction is only partway done. As you can see, I've only worked on the front, back and sides of the grotto. So now I'm going to work on the roof, as we wouldn't want the snow to fall on Santa's head as he hands out the presents, do we? To make the roof, I'm applying some more buttercream to the top of the cake. Then I'll line up pretzel sticks on the rooftop. Using my ruler, I'm marking out lines on the wall all around the cake.
A beautiful wife, 2 kids, and a dog pup.
I'm making the windows out of white rolled out fondant. I used a small rectangular cutter to cut out the windows, and while the fondant was still in the cutter, I cut out the window panes. I made 2 windows and then attached them to the cake using vegetable fat.
I have nothing but love for you. You can trust that to be true. Yeah, I wish you the merriest Christmas.
My doorway is still open, so I need to fix that. I'm making the door out of red fondant, and using a wooden impression mat, I created the wood effect. Then I'm going to cut the door out and attach it to the doorway using some vegetable fat.
Girl, I wish you the merriest Christmas. I hope it will be all that you dream. I have nothing but love for you. You can trust that to be.
To complete the door, I also made some hinges and the doorknob using black fondant.
The merriest Christmas, the merriest Christmas of all.
I transferred my cake to the main board, and now I'm going to make a white picket style fence using plastic cake dowels. I cut the dowels down to a height of 8.9 cm, lined 15 pieces up, leaving gaps between them, and then using hot glue I glued them together with one uncut dowel. I attached the 15 pieces in bits to make it easier to manage.
First flake of snow is set to fall today. It comes to say
I cut out a shorter piece with only 2 peels from the long rail. Then I inserted one end of this short piece into the cake. I also glued the base of this short piece to my foam board using hot glue. Now I'm gonna glue one end of the long piece to the short piece to form an L-shaped fence, and also glue the base of this piece to my board as well. Following the same process, I made and attached the second fence to the other side of the grotto.
is promised for this day. It brings a hope of peace, both near and far away. It says we can live together, and that we can find a way. The first snow this Christmas is promised for.
Santa's grotto is not really complete without snow-capped roofs, so I'm spreading some white royal icing on the rooftops. And while the icing is still wet, I'm also going to sprinkle some desiccated coconuts and some powdered icing sugar on the icing. Then I'll give the whole thing a sparkle with edible sparkle dust. I'm going to make the Santa's grotto signpost with edible wafer paper, and I'll be painting the words with red edible gel color and vodka.
First snow of Christmas is
Using royal icing, I'll stick the signpost to the front of the grotto.
it's a sight of wonder.
Then I'll pipe some royal icing on the window sills and the picket fence.
And it's joy found in each other. It bears a witness.
And also sprinkle on some edible sparkle dust as well.
Snow of Christmas.
I also piped royal icing on the roof edge. Then I spread some of the same icing on my board.
Snow of Christmas is falling from above.
And sprinkled desiccated coconut, powdered icing sugar, and some edible sparkle dust. I made my pine trees using ice cream cones covered with green royal icing that I mixed in with desiccated coconut. Then I placed the trees in front of the grotto and sprinkled some icing sugar and sparkle dust on them for the snow effect. I'm gonna make the red entrance mat with red fondant. And I'll use bubble tea straws to create holes in the fondant at the back of the grotto at the points where I previously made holes for the string lights. After that, I'll wrap some parts of the string lights around the picket fence. Then I'll cut and insert some bubble straws through the holes at the back, and then put in the string lights through these straws.
Snowflakes as they're falling down, and follow Rudolph all across the town. Played it with me under the mistletoe while Santa's busy.
And for the fun part, I'm going to turn on the lights to see what the cake looks like in the dark. Doesn't it just look beautiful? And as usual, I'm going to cut this cake.
And later we warm up by the fireplace. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house.
We've now come to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!